Hi again, welcome back. I have my helper with me today, Maddie. You want to come in? I know it's very hot in here. It is a very hot day. It is Sunday, last Sunday in June. And okay, she wants to play. What else is new? So just to give an update on things in the greenhouse, I've been able to harvest. Actually, we had our first harvest, well, not really a harvest, but I picked a couple basil leaves off earlier this week. We made some homemade pasta. Well, not homemade pasta. I can't make that yet. I don't have tomatoes yet. But we bought a sauce and we seasoned it up ourselves. So we used some of our fresh basil in that. It was delicious. And we've actually harvested a couple of radishes. Those are doing really good. So I'll probably be picking these soon, and I probably will replenish the seeds in there. They don't really take long to mature, so it's a quick something I can plant. They don't need a lot of space. And I've actually noticed, I don't know if it makes a difference, but since I've had the radishes here in the greenhouse, I find that they don't get a lot of foliage like they did when they were in the garden. When I had them outside in the garden, they would have tons and tons and tons of leaves, and they were big, and the radishes weren't very big. So I don't know if that makes a difference, but that's an observation that I've noticed so far. So just something that like I said, I just happened to notice it. So like I said, I don't know if it's coincidence, but could be. So that would be nice if being in here, they produce more of the vegetable and not so much on the foliage, because that's obviously where you want all your growth to go into. I did plant some more herbs, hoping to have a nice charge of fall and winter herbs. I did some thyme, some sweet basil, some marjoram, some parsley, another type of basil, I can't remember what it was called, and some oregano. So that's my goal for these little guys. I got my this tomato plant transplanted. The lettuce is still doing really good. The lettuce demands a lot of water. I have actually picked off some flowers. It was starting to flower, just a couple of the leaves. Maddie still comes in here and helps herself to the lettuce, but if I come in here in the morning and it's been a warm evening, the lettuce is pretty droopy, so I do try to keep that pretty watered. I did put some water on it about 5 minutes ago when I came in here, so it didn't actually look that bad. It says it's probably about 110 in here right now. And it's actually probably pretty close to that. It's pretty muggy out today. My peppers that I planted a week or so ago, those haven't sprouted just yet. My sweet pea is actually starting to sprout finally. That was the second round of seeds that I planted with that. And the snapdragons look really good. They're still a little small, but they look pretty healthy. My onions from seeds, they're doing really good. Don't know how that's going to go, I mean, I didn't produce a lot, but if I can get a couple out of it, that'd be something fun. This is my spinach still growing. These are the giant sunflower seeds I had to reseed because I had seeded them directly outside and something ate the little plants out there. They topped them off. We have seen a rabbit around, so I don't know if it was that or if it was a little gopher or mole or something. I'm not really sure what it was. But I did repot this basil here, and I've got some sweet peppers that are coming up still. My flowers, I know I still haven't put those in the ground yet. Hopefully I can get those in the ground soon, and I actually just noticed this tomato plant does have some flowers on top, so that's good. But getting back to the flowers, hopefully I'll have them in the ground soon when I can find a really good spot for them. I don't want to just pick a spot just because it's there. I'd like to really put them in a spot where they're going to do well. And then down here I still have my red onions, which are starting to look really good in this pot. These are the red onions I planted early in the season. And these, I can't remember if they're red or white onions. I planted both. Like I said, I want to have an abundance of onions. So that's what's going on in here so far. I did buy some of this garden jute twine. That's what I used to string up my tomatoes. And I actually had to restring them because they were getting a little loosey-goosey. And the other thing I did with the tomatoes too was I started to prune them and pick off the sucker growth. So we'll go check that out in a minute. my little visitor. It's been here for the last week or so. I just want him to go away. We'll just stay friends. Stay away from my toads and my frogs, and it'll all be good. Doesn't seem like it bothers much of anything, but... Alright, so we're over at the garden now, and I think it's looking pretty darn good. Everything is growing really good. My corn is growing real nice. I actually did harvest my very first summer squash just today. It was probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 inches long. It's a nice one. I'll show you that shortly. So I was happy about that. I still have my little sprinkler that I use. I love it. Tomatoes are looking good. We'll head on in here. The tomatoes are loaded with flowers, so that's a good sign. Everything's got all kinds of good growth. Like I said, I've been really trying hard to keep the sucker growth down. I did do some trimming on them yesterday, cut some of the lower branches. If there were any extra shoots coming off the bottom, I tried to cut those. Try to keep every tomato to one dominant stem as best as I can. So I did that yesterday. The cucumbers, they're growing like crazy. I have to train those to climb, but it seems like they're doing pretty good, so I should have a pretty good cucumber tower growing here. It's got a lot of flowers on it. I haven't looked through the plant just yet to see if there's any actual little cucumbers poking through, but I'm sure there is. These are my zinnias that I planted from seed. They have little flowers on top, so those should be blossoming soon. And tomato plants, everybody's looking really good. I don't know if you can see, but there's some tomatoes starting to grow already. This one is a little one. I think these 4 right here are the Brandywines, and I think the 2 in the middles are 4th of Julys. They're all going to end up being either slicing tomatoes for, you know, if someone wants them throughout the summer, but my goal is to make a big batch of tomato sauce. I think these right here are the cherry tomatoes, and there's already quite a few on those. I can actually see some sucker growth that I'm going to need to snip off of these. Even these in the pots right there, that one's got some tomatoes growing on it, so everything's doing really good. My pepper plants look good. These huge things are my sunflowers that I planted and kind of wasn't thinking about. These grow really big, so we put those in the garden, but they look really good. Again, all from seeds. They're not super huge ones, and I think they're actually like multicolored ones, so we shall see what comes up on those. Again, here's the corn, looking very good. Something got one of my plants, kind of weird, like it just got this one, but it almost looks like it's gonna make it. So I don't know, maybe something nibbled it, decided it didn't like it. I don't really know. I came out one morning and the top was gone, but it actually looks like it's survived, so that's a good sign. So we'll have a lot of corn, hopefully. I'm very happy with all the tomatoes that are coming, or corn that are growing out of that. So hopefully we'll have a good batch of that. And like I said, I harvested one of the summer squashes that was down here earlier today. This is the winter squash. A lot of flowers, but I haven't seen any squash yet. But seeing that it's a winter squash, maybe it'll be more later in the season. I don't really know. I've never really grown those. But that's about all for this week. Like I said, slowly starting to harvest things here and there. So far we've had lettuce, we've had radishes, we've picked some basil, just picked my first squash, and actually this plant still has a bunch more. I think I counted one day and there was still 7 more squash growing on there. This right here, those are the turnips in the middle, so those should be coming out pretty soon. But that's about it for this week. Things are slowly winding down, but as I empty the greenhouse and stuff came in here, I'm trying to figure out what I can plant late in the season like this and grow into the fall and into the winter. So that's my goal now. Whether I do some herbs, I'd like to do maybe, I don't know, I might try some broccoli, some cauliflower, like I said, just some crops that I know are more cold crops. So that is what I've been up to. So as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. And please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Take care. Happy gardening.